For the last few days, we have been talking about domain and range, and we've been mainly focusing on domain and range from a graph. But we're not always going to see questions asked about domain and range in a graph. A lot of times they're going to put them in word problems. Here's a perfect example from the STAR test a couple of years ago. This was question number 5 a couple of years ago on the STAR test, and it asks about the range of a situation. So it's going to be very important that we're able to figure out the domain or the range of a particular situation just based on the words. So let's read through this problem and work through it so we can find our answer. Set of weights includes a 4-pound barbell and 6 pairs of weight plates. Each pair of plates weighs 20 pounds. If they put X pairs of plates on the barbell, then the total weight of the barbell and the plates in pounds can be represented by this equation. All right? And you can follow along on your notes because you have the exact same question and the questions that come after on there. So they're asking us to find the range of the function. So we are looking for the range. And then they give us 4 answer choices. So you might be able to do this on your own, just looking at it and thinking about what the range is. The range, of course, being the y values of any function. And you might be able to answer this. But if we're not, we're going to break it down and go through it step by step so that we can all understand exactly how we can come about getting this answer. So the first thing you want to do on any question, especially on the STAR test, is ask yourself, what is the question asking you to do? All right. There's a lot of things in here. All right. There's a lot of different possibilities. It could be asking you to find the slope of the situation, or what the y-intercept would be, or what an equation was, or if they had 8 plates, then how many, or what would the total weight be? There's a lot of different questions they could ask. But the question that they are asking, the one that you have to answer in order to pass this test, is to find the range of this function. So you're looking for the range. All right, we're not trying to figure anything else out. That's the only thing we want to focus on, is figuring out what the range is in this situation. Since we know that we're looking for the range, we now need to determine what the independent and dependent variables are. All right, independent, remember, is talking about our domain or talking about our x. What does x, or what is x representing in this problem? Well, let me go back and look at my problem, see if they tell me. So weights, 4, 6, each pair of weights is 20 pounds. X, if X pairs of plates, so X is talking about the pairs of plates. So that's going to be our independent variable in this situation. All right, that would be the domain value. Pairs of plates. So now we got to find the dependent variable, or the one that has the range in it. So our answer, so if X pairs of plates are added to the barbell, the total weight of the barbell and the plates can be expressed by this equation. So it doesn't necessarily tell me exactly that the Y is this, but from looking at the problem, I can figure out that multiplying the X, or the pairs of plates, by 20 and then adding 4 is going to give me my total weight. So that has to be my answer. That's going to be my y. That's going to be my dependent variable, because the total weight depends on how many pairs of plates I put on the barbell. So for dependent variable, it is total weight. So this is what we're looking for. We're looking for the possible answers that could be the total weight, because the total weight is the range in this situation, and the range is what we're trying to answer. because we are looking for the range, what variable are we focusing on? Well, we just talked about that. We're focusing on the dependent variable, or the total weight. Again, since we're looking at the range, are there any answer choices that we can eliminate before continuing? Well, let's look. We have these different answer choices with different numbers. Not really anything we can eliminate right off the bat. There's no answer choices that have like an X in it, because X would be for domain, so we could automatically cross those out. So in this situation, there's not really any answer choices that we can just skip over. So let's go to the next question. What is the smallest possible value for the range we could have in this situation? What is the smallest Y number? All right. So what are we talking about? We're talking about plates on a barbell. So the least number of plates I could put on the barbell would be 0. All right. If I had 0, using this equation, if we had 0 plates, or we added 0 weights to it, our equation would look like this. 20 times 0, because X stands for the number of plates, plus 4. So I do the math. 20 times 0, anything times 0 is 0. 0 plus 4 is 4. So without putting any weights on the barbell, it still weighs 4 pounds because the barbell has weight. All right. So that's the smallest possible number that we could have in this situation, is 4. All right. So now we can look at our answer choices and see that A has 0, B has 4, C has 0, D has 4. So it's not going to be A, and it's not going to be C, because neither one of those, the smallest number is 4. Now let's figure out what could be our largest value. Well, the most number of weights we could put is 6 pairs. That's the most that we have. So again, I'm going to plug in 6 for X, or not again, but this time I'm going to plug in 6 for X and do the math. 20 times 6 is 120. Add 4 gives me 124. So let's go back and look at our answer choices. Which one has 124 for the biggest number? Well, they both do. All right, so normally that's good enough, just to find the smallest and the biggest number of the range or the domain, depending on which one we're looking for, and we'll be able to answer the question. But that's not going to work in this situation. They're both 124. So let's see, what are other values that we could have? Well, we talked about what happens when he has 0, add 0 weights. Talked about what happens when he has 6 pairs of weights. So now let's just go through the math and figure out, well, what's going to happen if he only adds 1 pair, or 2 pairs, or 3 pairs, or 4 pairs, or 5 pairs. So, given an equation, and any time that we have one, it is always a good idea to put that in the calculator. The reason we want to put in the calculator is because the calculator will always give us a table of all the values. So I can go to y equals, type in the equation. After the equal sign, I don't need the f of x or the equal. 20x plus 4. I'm going to hit second and graph, so the table pops up. And it tells me all the possible values for x and for y. Here is when I don't add any plates, the weight is 4, which is what we got when we did it by hand. If I add 6 plates, the weight's 124, which is also what we got when we did it by hand. But these are all the different ones. If we had 1 pair, it'd be 24. If we had 2 pairs, the weight would be 44. If we had 3 pairs, it'd be 64, and so on and so on. So which one of my answer choices has this listed? 4, 24, 44, 64, 84, 104, 124. Well, let's go back and look. This one has all of them listed. Here's 0 plates, 1 pair, 2 pairs, 3 pairs, 4 pairs, 5 pairs, 6. This one is missing some values. So while these are all in the range, and these are all range values, This is not all of the range values. It's skipping some. So since it's skipping some, that is not going to be the correct answer. And we are going to pick B because I wanted to know the range of the function. So we have to include all the answers. So remember to make sure you know exactly what the question is asking you to find. And whenever possible, you want to use your calculator and put your equations in y equals, because it will give you a table of values that tells you what every x and every y of that particular function is. This will help you figure out the domain or the range of something, or if I needed to know what's the weight going to be when he has, I don't know, let's say he had 10 pairs of weights because he's super strong, then it'd be a total of 204 pounds. So remember to always know what you're being asked and to utilize your calculator.